Hi everyone, it's CricketSong with Inner Wisdom, and today I want to talk to you about when you assume the role as witch. So it was at the end of 2017 that I was looking through my Facebook feed and I caught a question that Avalon Cameron had asked. And I wrote a blog post about it, and this is basically my thoughts that I shared in the blog post. I'll put the link to the blog post in the description information section of this video, but I wanted to make a video about it. So the question, she said, was, at what point do you assume a role, and at what point do you claim the title of that role? And so this, I'm going to bring this to specifically the title of witch and the role of witch, but you can, I can just easily talk about it as being an author. I mean, I've self-published numerous books at this point, some fiction, some nonfiction, under the name Sherry Bro-Kreitner, under the name CricketSong. But at what point would I assume the role of author and claim the title of author? I could do that too. So, but I really sort of want to share this with you with the idea of the title and role of witch. So, honestly, I feel like there are no set guidelines, though I wouldn't be surprised that if you did a Google search, you'd find that there are websites that claim that they have the formula for becoming a witch, but I don't believe that there is a set standard for anyone. I think everyone is individual and timing is dependent upon that person's knowledge and practice. Someone who grew up in a pagan household with practicing witches as parents may have always been a witch since birth and freely and comfortably identify as a witch, using that label to describe themselves, while others may have been born into a Christian household and had parents who were devout, fundamental Christians who believe that such things as witches or witchcraft are sinister or evil. So then that person may take a longer time to embrace their calling or remembering even longer. And perhaps even into adulthood, maybe it takes them that long to comfortably and openly self-identify as witch. So I don't believe that every witch's journey is the same, because each of us has different life experiences that are unique to us. Our perspectives are unique to us, and all this has brought us individually to the conclusion that I am witch. So I don't think there is a set guideline, but I do believe that there are sort of common markers in someone's life that would aid us into understanding when we're ready to assume the role of witch. And these markers or guidelines can help us identify when we might be comfortable with claiming that title of witch. So this is where I want to share my thoughts. And again, these are just my thoughts and my opinions. So when you recognize the interconnectedness of all life, including your own, and the consequences of such is a profound union. So when you have this recognizing of this, you honor the sacredness of the planet and your impact on the environment in which you live. You acknowledge and accept personal accountability and responsibility for your thoughts, your words, your behaviors, and actions. You're no longer blaming other people for things that you've done. You acknowledge and accept what you've done. You possess a willingness for deep self-reflection, which includes a passion for continued learning about ourselves, our practice, and the world into which we have incarnated. We accept the existence of impermanence and mortality of all physical life. We embrace the existence of spirit and the other realms of existence, and we've begun to cultivate a personal relationship with those that reside therein, whether those be spirit guides, ancestors, the mighty dead, your beloved dead, deity. Whatever it is, you have an understanding and you've started to cultivate a relationship with them. You understand magic and how it's used to create a change within reality. And you've established your craft. You've established a personal magical practice in whatever form that might take. So that's totally, some witches may have a practice centered in, rooted in herbs, or another witch may have one founded and rooted in crystals. Whatever that looks like, but you've established your craft. You have a personal magical practice and you do it. So this is not an official list or guidelines, but I do believe that my points touch on many of the qualities that a witch would possess, whether they're things that the individual intuitively learned on their own or whether they were taught by a mentor, teacher, or family member. If I were to meet someone who possessed all of these points, I wouldn't hesitate to call them witch. Unless, of course, that's a label they personally reject for themselves, because it's solely dependent on how each of us know when and if we decide to assume the role of witch. Just because I would look at someone and say they're a witch and they would say, no, I'm not, then I'm not going to call them something they don't want to be called. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts? When do you assume the role? Do you have sort of a set of guidelines that you used for yourself before you embraced the title of witch? I would love to know your thoughts on this topic. Please share with me. Until next time, I love you. Blessed be.